So the new freshman XXL list just dropped, and let me tell you guys, this list is a huge letdown.
Nice chain, red bone mains, chain swing, light pretty.
Hey, what's good guys? Today we're going to be going over everybody that's on the freshman XXL list, and I'm going to be giving you guys my 2 cents on whether if I think they even deserve to be on this list or if I just think they're hot trash, bro. Spoiler alert, some of these people on this list are just complete garbage, but because they got numbers, they're on this list. So here's the cover of the new freshman XXL list right here. At first glance, this cover looks super fucking sick. I love the color scheme on all of it, but then you start looking into the artists and you start realizing, holy fuck, this list is kind of trash. There are 11 people on this list, and to be honest, about only 5 to 8 of them do I think they actually deserve to be on there, or at least I'm okay with them being on there. But enough talking, we're gonna get into the freshman XXL list. Now these first 3 artists, I think that they definitely deserve to be on the freshman XXL list simply just because their music was good and they were putting up crazy numbers. It's no surprise that 42 Dugg is on this list simply just because this man has been putting out some pretty solid music and he's been getting some pretty solid numbers as well. He's got artists like Roddy Ricch, Future, Lil Baby, all in like some of his songs that have been like absolute bangers, to be honest. So I got nowhere to complain with 42 Dugg. Definitely deserves to be on this list. Solid artist, and I can't wait to see what else he drops. Next person on this list is gonna be Pooh Shiesty. Obviously he has to be in the top 3 of this freshman XXL list here. Just like 42 Dugg, he's been putting up some solid numbers, and I have plenty of his songs in my playlist. So obviously he's gonna have to be on one of the people who deserves to be on this list. Can't complain. Pooh Shiesty is a solid artist, and I can't wait to see what else he drops in the future. Next up, you guys might or might not agree with me on this, but I got Ian Dior on here for who does deserve to be on this list simply just because he has put out some pretty good songs. Overall, just a solid artist. Not too crazy, but not trash at all. But if you had to put him up next to 42 Dugg and Pooh Shiesty, he's definitely not putting up numbers like them, or at least as relevant as them. Now these next 2 artists, I'm not gonna say they deserve to be on this list, but they definitely put up numbers to be on this list. Next person that we have on this list that, to be honest, I don't think deserves to be on this list simply just because I don't think her music is true hip-hop or rap or anything like that, is Leray. You guys have without a doubt heard her. If you guys have been scrolling through TikTok, she's probably been on your feed simply just because every thought on TikTok has her music playing in the background. Again, like I said, you may or may not agree that she's on this list. Personally, I could do without her on this list, but she's here, so I'm gonna go over her. It's really whatever. I could care less if she's on this list. To be honest, I'm more excited for her freestyles that she ends up putting out just because I don't think she could do that, and it's gonna be funny to watch. And just like Koi, we have Flo Milli. You've heard of her too, been popping off on TikTok. To be honest, these 2 past female rappers on here mostly just blew up because of TikTok, which I think in and of itself has a lot to say of the artist. Personally, I feel like any artist that blows up off of TikTok isn't truly a true artist simply just because when you blow up on TikTok, you're here today and you're gone tomorrow. You don't truly have a legitimate fan base simply because nobody could really make a connection with you. And I feel like that's definitely going with Koi and Flo just because they both kind of blew up off TikTok. Unless you've been on that Flo and Koi before they blew up on TikTok, I have never heard of them before TikTok. So yeah, those are 2 people right there on the freshman XXL list that personally I could do without them, but they have been putting up big numbers, so kind of makes sense as to why they're on here. And now this next artist was picked by the fans. It's DDG. To be honest, I had never heard of DDG until after his fight with the YouTubers versus TikTokers. If I'm gonna have to be completely honest with you, I'm more excited to see this guy fight in the boxing ring again rather than any future music he's dropping. I haven't heard any of his music. I don't know. Maybe his shit's bumping, but I haven't heard a single song from him. And basically everybody else going on this list, I haven't heard of them or even heard of their music. But you guys let me know down in the comments below if you guys have heard of these people and comment down some of their best songs. Now the first person on this list that I have never heard of or heard of their music is Murray. This guy right here, I've never seen him in my life or heard of any of his music. Now I'm not gonna go completely bash him. He could have some pretty solid music. He's kind of looking like Rod Wave, to be honest, just because he's you guys could probably get why I think he looks like Rod Wave. This next artist here too, I've also never heard of or heard of their music either. Just looking at him, he kind of gives me a Pop Smoke, kind of Travis Scott vibes, just from his looks, simply just because of those glasses definitely are kind of like a Pop Smoke kind of thing. And then his dreads are just kind of like Travis Scott and Pop Smoke, so that's the kind of vibes he's giving me. I'll definitely check him out after this video, but personally I've never heard of him. Comment down some of his songs that you guys like and you guys think are of his best. Next person up that we got here is Tusi. I feel like I have maybe heard some of his songs, and maybe like you guys are watching and wondering how I haven't heard some of his songs. but he does sound familiar. But off the top of my head, I can't name a single one of his songs, and I've never actually seen him. Does look like a fucking cool guy though, so I'm definitely gonna go check out some of his music after this video right here. Like I said, can't really bash any of these guys down here simply just because I've never heard of their music or really heard too much of them. And then lastly, probably one of the most hated artists on this list, and this person I do know of, and I definitely do feel like they do not deserve to be on this list. There's plenty of other rappers and artists that I think should have taken her spot, and that has to be Ruby Rose. And I think plenty of you guys are going to agree with me that you don't think Ruby Rose deserves to be on this list simply just because her music is straight trash. That shit is not good. They threw her on here just because she remotely has some numbers compared to all the other artists on here like 42 Dugg, Pooh Shiesty, Ian Dior, Flo Milli, and Leray. She definitely doesn't get numbers like they do, and I don't think her music is even catchy at all. Unlike Koi and Flo, their music, you can't lie, their shit actually was kind of catchy. Now that we've gone over every person that is on the Freshman XXL list, I wanted to show you guys a fake Freshman XXL list that somebody made online, and I want to compare that to what we have here. On this fake list that some people created, we have Snot, who I definitely think if you had to choose between Snot and Ruby Rose, I think Snot should have been on this shit rather than Ruby Rose. I think there's an obvious reason as to why Lil Loaded wasn't on this list. Rest in peace to Lil Loaded, but if he was still here with us, I definitely do think that this man should have been on this list over some of the other artists that are currently on it. Next, we got Lil Skies, who people thought they should have been on this list, but to be honest, at this point, I don't think Lil Skies could even be considered a freshman in the rap game. I think at this point, he's kind of a washed up veteran that put up decent numbers in the very beginning, but now is kind of falling off, kind of only putting up 5 points a game. And at the very top left was KSI. I think that had to be a complete joke because there is no way, personally, I listened to his music and I think that his shit is pretty bad. KSI only gets his numbers simply just because of his YouTube channel. If he was just any other rando trying to do music, I don't think he'd be getting any plays. And now the rest of these people on this fake list right here, I could say that they probably shouldn't have been on the Freshman XXL list simply just because Rich Brian has been in this game for such a fat minute now too. He's like Little Skies, he's a washed up veteran now. Ian Dior is on this list, and then the rest of the people, I don't think they deserve to be on the list. I don't think they've put up numbers like the people on this list currently, and they're just not as relevant as some of the people on the Freshman XL list either. But from this fake Freshman XXL list, the one person that I have to say that got completely robbed and I think deserves 100% to be on the actual list is Snot, without a doubt. This guy's music is so good, and I'm sure plenty of people could say that this man was robbed. Like I said in the beginning, this year's list is a huge downgrade from last year's list, simply just because last year's list we had Polo G. Polo G alone is better than any artist on this year's list combined. All of them combined, Polo G is better than all of these other guys. Not to mention that we also had NLE Choppa, Lil TJ, 24K Golden. He's not too great, but he still, I feel like, is better than the majority of the other people on this year's list as well. Last year's list was 100 times better than this year's list. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think of this year's list. Is it hot trash? Do the majority of these people even deserve to be on this list, or are they only here just because of the numbers they put up on TikTok? But that's everybody on the Freshman XXL list. If you guys did enjoy this video, go hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. We're about to hit 200 subscribers. Can't wait to see how they freestyle. That shit's gonna be funny. Peace.